Welcome back to Project 94 for yet another diecast review here on the channel, and today we're going to be looking at a 2023 Joe Gibbs Racing diecast, so a 2023 Toyota diecast. It's about time right here, folks, for that to come. Here's the Martin Truex Jr. 2023 Bass Pro Shops Club Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing. Very, very cool diecast. This is obviously one of the better paint schemes of the 2023 season. And because it's one of the primaries, you're going to get to see this car plenty during the season. And it's already been in victory lane several times with Martin Truex Jr. So let's get a look at this diecast. Shout out to Johnny Bunton, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago. He was a big Martin Truex Jr. fan and a big figure in the Flash Racing not just the Flash Racing, because we did give him a shout out in the Flash Racing Cup Series event, but just NASCAR in general. He was a big fan of NASCAR, and he was one of those really important figures to have in the NASCAR community. He was outspoken and had just a lot of opinions about the sport, and just was not afraid to let people know about how he feels about certain things with the sport. So it's really sad to see him go. Johnny Bunton we are talking about here, and he would have loved to see this paint scheme on the track, and yeah, that's a loss in the NASCAR community that we feel every day. I know I feel it every day. So yeah, just continue to rest in peace, Johnny Bunton. So that's my little shout out to him right there. So let's get this diecast review on, because I know that Johnny Bunton would want us to move on and review this diecast. So let's get this thing out of the box. And man, if you're a Martin Truex Jr. fan this year, you're having a great time. You have an awesome paint scheme to look at, lots of wins to look back on, and possibly another championship appearance. This could be Martin Truex Jr.'s final season in Cup. As of this video, there's a lot of talk about how this could be his final season in the Cup Series and all that. So this diecast, if he ends up making that choice for this to be the final year, this car is going to go up in value. Of course, if you have it. So let's get this diecast review on. I know at the time of this video, most people do not have this car, so I'm going to make sure I give you guys all the details about it, and for you guys to know what it's like before you go and pick it up. That's the purpose of these videos. Whenever I get these cars brand new, my goal is to review the car for you guys so you guys know what you guys are buying. Of course, got number 19, Joe Gibbs Racing at the Toyota Camry front end, which is not changed for the diecast. I mean, why should they change it? The real-life car has a new nose clip, but it's not that obvious. You really have to look closely at it to notice that they changed the real car. So why would Lionel have to update the mold? It's really not that much different. It's pretty much the same Camry we've had since 2017, which is insane. However, of course, they're still running with the TRD, which makes it look even cooler. So let's see. You have Johnny Morris with the iconic signature. You got Bass Pro Shops Club. So this is not just a Bass Pro Shops Toyota Camry. It's a Bass Pro Shops Club Toyota Camry, which is cool. And of course, the Toyotas also have a new set of hood vents, which are hard to see on where the fish is at. But on the yellow side of the logo, you can definitely see the hood vents, the new hood vents. Honestly, the least obnoxious hood vents are definitely the Chevys. The Toyota ones are kind of long, and the Fords are just really huge and stubby looking. But the hood vents on the Toyota are pretty long and very kind of narrow. They're not as bad looking, but yeah, I'm just getting used to all the new hood vents. But yeah, that's something you're going to get with the new Toyotas as a part of this video. Get a new set of hood vents. Toyota, you got Truex Jr., of course the Sunoco logos. You got Goodyear in white, which really blends in with the camo on this car. You have the yellow Goodyears with the dark gray rims. The white Goodyear for the logo itself. Of course, you have NASCAR Cup Series. You got the 75th anniversary logo for NASCAR. You got number 19, Martin Truex Jr. with the handwritten signature. Got Toyota, Auto Owners. Let's see, is that RCA or ACA? Kind of small for me to read. You have Cessna and JD Gibbs. Of course, you have Bass Pro Shops Club. Black Rifle Coffee Company, of course the TRD with the TRD side skirts, which are just beautiful to look at on these cars. Of course, you have the Black Rifle Coffee Company. Tracker ATVs. Tracker ATVs. I thought it said Tracker and ATVs. So you have that going on right there. Oh, wait. Boats. I almost missed that. You see what the camo does? Like, you think you read everything on the car, but there's the white logos blend in so much with the camo. So what it really should be saying is tracker, boats, and ATVs. But it blends in so much with the camo. With the black paint scheme, you could easily read it. But with this paint scheme, it's kind of hard to see it. And that Black Rifle Coffee Company logo, you definitely have a hard time seeing. Of course, you have Reese's, Fine Foods. And it looks like there's another bit of text. I'm not sure if I'm just seeing things, but it looks like it actually has a letter or a word right there. You see it? Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Maybe I'm not just seeing things. Does that say Viper right there? No way. Is it like this on the other side too? No, it looks like to be covered up on the other side, but looking at this side... Viper? What does Viper have to do with this car? Unless it's Viper camo. Maybe that's what they're saying, and they have like a True Timber T logo. I just came to a realization. Look at this side, and this is not an error. Apparently the real life car is like this. So on the right side, you have Black Rifle Coffee Company with a tiny logo of that True Timber. But on this side, it's True Timber camo. You guys see that? So it's technically a split paint job, or mainly more like a split wrap. And this Viper thing is scattered around the car as well. That's interesting. So there's little details about this car you may not have noticed when you first looked at it. You got interstate batteries right there next to the rear quarter windows. Of course, look at the back of this thing. You got Toyota Camry. Of course, you got tracker boats and ATVs. You got number 19, the Toyota with the red box logo. And of course, the fake diffuser sticker for how the street Camry actually looks. Got some more of that Viper stuff kind of just scattered around. It took me a while to like... And even here, look at behind the Cabela's logo. There's actually a tiny little True Timber logo right there as well. So I guess this camo has like scattered little logos on it. You got Doosan, DN, Lincoln Welders, Mac Tools, Siemens, Mobile One, and Sherwin-Williams. Then you have Truex Jr., BassPro.com on the top with the number 19. And for the paint scheme itself, it is... Oh, that's interesting. It's spray painted black. I thought they spray painted it that metallic silver color. So the metallic silver color seems to be wrapped on there, or they put duct tape around the car and then they painted that part silver. That's apparently what they do is, according to Action 46 Racing Network, whenever they're painting these cars, like the silver parts may not be wrapped. They may actually be putting like duct tape and then spraying the silver and then taking the duct tape off and then just having the silver in that one spot. But yeah, that's worth mentioning. It could still be wrapped. I mean, who knows at this point. The only thing I know is that this is not the base color, but it is on the car. Metallic silver on the top. Of course, you got the number 19. I almost said number 9. Got the yellow outline, the black outline, and of course that day glow orange number fill-in, which the camera is not making it look that great, but it is a day glow orange. Just like what wraps around the sides of the windows, which we will get to that. Okay, so you have the silver outline on the number 19. See, now I'm starting to think that they may be using metallic-looking decals, because there's no way you could paint on that thin of an outline on the number 19. But somehow, some way, they got a silver number 19 outline there, with the black outline and then a day glow orange number fill-in. I'll tell you this, though, metallic on the number 19 outline makes the 19 pop out a lot on the sides, especially because of all the camo they threw on this thing. For the paint scheme itself, black splitter, black spoiler, and of course the black roof rails and the Get Biofuel logo. Then, of course, in the front, you're going to have some of that silver on the front valence. Not really the valence, just a piece of the bumper right behind those fake vents. And get a load of this, you guys. The front part of this paint scheme is the Chase Elliott Napa car from 2019, which is the template they used to create Noah Gregson's 2020 Bass Pro Shops car for the Xfinity Series. So interesting fact right there. Of course, the black is at like a triangular angle on the front corners of the car to kind of make it different with just having that bit of silver. But looking at the shape of the outline in which the orange and yellow stripes wrap around, that is a Chase Elliott Napa template they're using for this thing, which is pretty much the same template they use for Noah Gragson. A lot of people point to the Gregson when comparing this, but this paint scheme stripe, the way it wraps from the window of the A-pillar down to the sides of the front right there, just the way it wraps, it doesn't cover the entire wheel well. A part of the wheel well is still showing the color of the car, while it just curves into the wheel well and wrapping behind the the headlights. The taillights are just, there's nothing behind those, but the headlights are definitely wrapped underneath. I mean, when you're wrapping like a Camaro like template on a Camry or a Mustang, it's definitely going to look different for each manufacturer. But it looks good on the Toyota. Like if Toyota said to me, hey man, we're going to make a Napa, or we're going to have somebody with the Napa sponsorship, but we're going to use this template, I'd be all for it. This looks good. That's one of the first things I noticed when this car first came out was, it's pretty much the Napa paint scheme, which is the template they use for No Gregson as well, as I mentioned, just on the Toyota Camry. Like you can see, this is where the Napa logo would be, but instead of Napa, it has Bass Pro Shops Club. Pretty interesting to see that, the way that wraps. And of course, it looks nice with the part of the silver there on the front. That looks really good. Those colors blend together really nicely. And of course, that stripe is going to go underneath the wheel well, swoop up onto the A-pillar, and then the A in the, what would you call this? That's the B pillar right there, but like the side pillar with the driver's name all the way to the rear quarters of the windows and the roof panels are all, pretty much all the side panels except the B pillars on the side roof panels are all that day glow orange, which looks fantastic on this car. And of course the top of it has that metallic silver, as we mentioned, which goes well with the scheme. The black roof rails look pretty nice with it as well. And the rest of the car is going to be done in that very interesting dark gray, white, black camo, which we're going to get a closer look at that because it's pretty important for us to get close-ups of how this paint scheme looks because of all the details on it. I mean, look at that. Look at the way that camo looks. It's pretty darn cool. I don't think it's the exact same camo pattern on both sides. Both sides have a different sort of like way of the camo wrapping. Which is, you know, it's going to happen because camo is definitely not going to be the same on both sides. So, I guess you can call this a split paint job then. I mean, different sponsors, different looking camo, but it's the same colors. Pretty much. I mean, look how it is on this side. See that little stripe right there that's on this side? It's not on the other side. It's more like shifted to like that side. So, you see what I'm saying? Like, both sides are actually different with the camo pattern, but it's pretty much the same, like, style. I know that was a lot to explain, but that's what's going on with this car. And the dark gray rims look pretty cool with it. If they did silver rims with this, that would really match well with the silver that's on the top and the silver that's in the front. And like the camo having that gray color. I think silver would have been a cool color for the rims, honestly. And on the back as well, the camo. This is definitely one of those cars you gotta have a close-up look at it to notice like details you never noticed before. There's a lot of paint schemes like that nowadays. You have to like do, I literally had to do a double take for when I first noticed the logos next to the rear wheel. Like how this side says True Timber Camo and then the other side has Black Rifle Coffee. So that's pretty interesting to note right there. And a fun fact about this car, as I give you guys a 360 view, there are multiple versions of this car. This one kind of runs at like the normal tracks, like the short tracks and like the speedways. But on like the super speedways, the number on the top is black. Like the Daytona version of this car, it had a black number on the top. That's why for the thumbnail of this video, I didn't use the Daytona picture. Because the one at Daytona, and of course, very, very hard to read red TRD logo because of the Camry, because it's a Camry TRD. The one that was in Daytona had black roof numbers, and it looked so ugly, man. Like, I get it, like, they wanted to add more black to it, but the Dayglow numbers on the top are much easier to spot for us. I don't know why they changed that. Because they literally put black. It looked so bad. And maybe it's just me. There's probably people that like the way that looks. But to me, it did not look right. I like this number on the top. This Dayglow orange number fill-in. But yeah, that's so weird. Why would they do that? Like, because the one in the Clash, I'm pretty sure had these style numbers. I don't know what happened. Like, why in the world did they change that? Was that like a decision they made like really quickly before like the race weekend? Because I am not a fan of that. But you know, at least the car, the diecast got made with the orange number on the top. Thank God, because I really am not a fan of the black numbers on the roof. That looks so ugly. So ugly. So I'm really glad they chose that. Maybe on like race versions, if he wins in the... I'm pretty sure he's won with both versions. I could be wrong. But, you know, this car has been in victory lane so many times. I mean, with Martin Truex Jr., you cannot go wrong. There's the underbody. No model year, nothing. They just put Toyota trademarks used with permission. No 2023, no 2022. They just did that. And, of course, got some hanging bits of plastic on this thing. Not a big deal. It's just on the underbody. Just happens whenever you're riveting and unriveting cars. These little holes get used and abused. But that is Martin Truex Jr. and his 2023 Bass Pro Shops Club Toyota Camry from Joe Gibbs Racing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this lengthy diecast review. Comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.